call it transportation.
Okay, it's back.
Oh, boy.
Transportation. What happened?
I would call it waterboarded, the Rosie Tran experience.
Are we here?
To get head lice with Jim.
Okay.
We got another one over here.
Oh, we got another one, too. Yeah, which I think you're kind of, Joe, almost referencing the act of killing. Did you see that documentary?
I didn't see that documentary, but yeah. I don't know anything about it. My dad still won't tell me. We found out on accident because my uncle let it out of the bag.
Yeah, generally
At Christmas.
I was going to say, is that like a bad holiday story?
It is. My uncle, something about
I thought my Thanksgiving was awful.
Something about convoys. I don't know.
Holy crap. Hey, would you pass the au jus? I am the general of a genocide. Holy shit, Rosie.
It was an accident. My uncle said something about convoys, and then my aunt and my mom started giggling hysterically. And then something about there was a curfew and they would sneak out with American soldiers. I don't know. No comment.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
And then my dad got stone-faced and quiet. And then my uncle's like, what do you got? What do you mean? You guys don't know? And me and my sister's like, what are you talking about? And my dad's like, looked really pissed.
Oh, dear.
And then later on after dinner, my uncle was like, oh, you didn't know about your dad? And then he started telling us.
Holy shit.
Oh, that is a nice family meal.
And this is why we don't serve soju at holidays anymore. Thanks, Uncle Finn.
Wow.
You dick.
Holy crap. Is that cranberry and stuffing?
Yeah. No, that's somebody's innards.
Well,
Doggone it.
All for the U.S. government, guys. Come on.
Oh, crap.
You know what?
He was working for us?
Thank you
Yes.
thank your
my
father
Lord.
for his service to our country.
country. Yeah.
Good.
Serving on the
my
side of the
God.
Americans, torturing his own people for America.
Well,
God love them.
Yikes.
I do recommend the
What do
act.
you say to that? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
man.
no, there's nothing to say. And do you know Rosie? Have you seen Rosie? She's cute as a button. She's this terribly
thank
angelic
you.
little person. And to know
Well,
that...
I got to tell you, Rosie, every
Yikes.
time you die on stage, I think you pay a karmic debt that your father cannot possibly hope to understand.
Thanks, Dad.
Every time you're great and you're like, what went wrong? It was well written. I rehearsed it. Everyone told me it was funny. And you come off stage, just think to yourself, oh, yeah, my dad.
It was that one time my dad tortured someone.
That
Yikes.
one time.
Now,
It was just one time.
what was your uncle's like? What did your uncle do during this period of time in history?
I don't know. It was just a really weird story. The whole situation was really weird, and we were eating at like a casino buffet or something.
Oh, Jesus.
It was just really awkward. And then afterwards, my dad ordered like these $100 bottles of like Remy Martin or something. It was like, let's toast, everyone's together, like trying to change the subject.
Maybe if I get everybody to black out, they'll forget they ever heard it.
That's smart.
God.
It was just really awkward.
Well, for those
Wait a minute. Your family is at some Indian casino, and your father decides to reveal his part in
his brother started it. His brother did it.
It was
my
loudmouth
his
uncle.
brother started it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into family stuff because it gets really complicated. My half brother, who I didn't know about as well,
God.
for like a
Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You're right.
Good.
he showed up and it was
Oh boy!
Man,
well,
this is, you live in a soap opera.
Here's the thing. People call me white trash.
Joe, you're white trash.
But
I thought it was an
start
opening.
A story with, well, wait a minute. Let me explain this. My half brother. Come on.
Don't forget, though, Joe, about the American freedoms, which is what we're talking about. And don't forget,
Are we?
don't forget to message me a picture, a headshot, so I can Photoshop us together as a selfie since you're not here.
Okay.
That's my expertise. That's
Yeah,
my expertise.
When you invite Rosie on.
See, that's how my
creepy
dad
at all?
changed the
not
subject
creepy at
at
all.
the dinner.
Yeah.
Wow. What's
I
next?
feel like you're setting up your alibi, Rosie.
Honestly, I was on a podcast when it blew up. I was.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to wake up strapped to a bed. I'm like, hello, Mr. Tran.
And
No, I think the political system is bullshit too.
He actually makes this call him the Godfather. That's another story.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
You know, that was probably his nickname in Nam, and so it's going to keep it going.
Yes, Godfather.
Oh my God. How many nights did you wake up with a horse head in your bed and at some point you're just like, yeah, that's my dad.
Well, actually, since it was Vietnam, it was a water buffalo head.
That's
So
right. That's right.
Nice.
Right. Oh, shit.
Or a
that's right.
Vietnamese pig.
Oh, man.
Potbelly pig.
Well, I mean, what would they say about your dad? Was he a good man? Was he a kind man? Come
growing
on,
up,
Hendrick. Jump on board with me.
He had a really good right cross, and he was a hell of a flogger.
I don't know, because some Vietnamese torture is a little bit different than American torture.
Oh my
You
God.
guys are more like Vietnamese torture is more like psychological warfare. It's a little different.
okay.
It's a little different.
So he would just strap people to a chair and then play Yoko Ono records all night long.
Oh, see, that's kind of racist, Hendrick, because
Oh, come on.
Oh,
he's Japanese.
you went with the Asian.
No, he
I
was
went with-
insulting Yoko Ono, not
Exactly.
Japanese people.
Not at
Guys,
all.
come on, get with it.
You've heard her records.
Come on, Jeff. Don't hide behind your ignorance.
like
If
they
you're
were
going to insult somebody for their culture, do it for their culture.
No, he was insulting her for her bad singing.
Oh, man, she's terrible.
Oh, yeah, she's awful. She's bad.
See what I mean?
So,
Yeah, no,
and she doesn't
she's
follow
horrible.
back on Twitter. Boo, Yoko.
So-
She's horrible. Every time Yoko Ono sings, whales beach themselves.
so
I
Jeff
correlated it.
Jeff
I've
has
done
a
it.
whole
I've done the
list.
research.
Jeff has a whole list of other topics, and I know he spent a lot of time on it. And I've enjoyed.
sorry, I'll shut up.
No, I mean,
No.
believe me.
Nobody.
After this podcast is over, I'm going to find out everything I can about South Vietnamese torturing. It's a fascinating topic. And by the way, I do want to plug the movie The Act of Killing if you want to know about, maybe some insight
Is it
into
about my
people like
dad?
your dad. Well, it's about Indonesian killings, but it's about how these guys went on with their lives. You do these horrible things, and then you kind of put it away, and you go on, and you have a family, and
And if I showed you guys a picture of my dad, you would laugh because he's literally like 5'2", like 80
I thought
pounds,
this was a
little Vietnamese man.
Comedy.
It got dark real fast.
Oh, think again,
Oh,
Mr.
I don't
Klocek.
think any of this is
Realized
dark.
We were
The Act of
talking
Killing
about
is almost a
torture.
comedy.
I mean, my mom had a wooden spoon. I mean,
Certainly. What else we have? What we have some other topics. Hit us with it, Jeff.
Well, we speaking of torturing and terrorism and such, I'm curious
Bring
why we're not getting more coverage of the Boko Haram slaughtering of 2,000 people in Nigeria, but we have a huge hullabaloo
they're
about 12
black in
This is
and
such a
they're in
wacky
Africa.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's so wacky.
Because we are horrible people. That's the first thing, and I think most people are horrible. And yeah, it is because they're black. They're far away from
Shame
here.
on them for being killed above ground that has nothing beneath it we want.
That's right.
But it does.
Well, we do have. There's
in
oil.
fact,
Well,
there's oil in
eventually.
Nigeria. Don't worry about that. So, that's actually kind of sad. But here's something that was goofy. Did you?
Whoa!
What?
Hey, you know what you just did? You just moved on. You can't move on. Now we got to talk about it for the rest of the hour.
No.
God,
Let's
what
get to
is
something
this, like,
silly.
Suicide pushed me
Oh,
over
how
the
we doing?
edge
Hello, how we doing?
hotline?
What did you do?
Who did I call
Because I'm
tonight?
trying to switch
Oh,
to this mic.
that was
It was my
Rosie
fault.
unplugged.
Jeez. Rosie unplugged everybody's headphones.
That was so funny.
Hey,
Rosie.
man, I got a lot of concerns about the world. I don't know where the future's headed. I don't know about my own life. What's up? What about that massacre that's not being talked about? Thanks, guys.
Okay. All right.
I wanna
We're
talk-
going to get Rosie on here again. All right. So we're going to move on.
All right,
But people should learn. Go ahead.
Just
I
on
wanna zip
a
it.
sillier note, did you hear about Michael Hoyt? He's the 44-year-old Butler County bartender who believes that he is Jesus Christ and John Boehner is the devil, and he wants to kill him.
Can I see the headline? Is there a picture? there's no picture.
there's no picture, no.
I thought maybe he looks like Jesus.
He's got
Yeah.
a beard, but he
No.
doesn't quite look.
Well, he looks like Jesus if Jesus had, just spent like 15 years smoking and eating cheese.
Yeah.
Well, there was
What's wrong with cheese?
There was a stat.
I love cheese, but clearly he had a problem with cheese, Rosie.
He's a
Let
cheese.
me see the
he's a
picture.
cheese addict.
Does Jesus like cheese? Is that a
No.
known
Oh,
Jesus favorite?
No.
That guy doesn't look like Jesus at all.
Okay.
Well, but that's
No,
why
but-
he's like fat Jesus. He's like fat American Jesus.
Fat American
I
Republican
thought Jesus
who
was Middle Eastern.
well,
yeah.
think again, little missy.
Wow.
Have
Now,
you?
who's getting the letters?
Yeah. Somebody's never been in a church in the Midwest.
Who's getting the emails now? It's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Guy doesn't
What
look
do
like
you
Jesus.
what do you think about Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio being on the science committees and in charge of that? Or as I'd like to say,
You know,
Ted Cruz in space. Sorry.
I think Ted Cruz will probably find a way to start to deport illegal aliens into space. I think he'll be like, look, NASA, we need a cannon, and we need a cannon that shoots brown people far away. Do it.
There we go. Well, a lot of people are cynical about it, and they're saying that because most of the space program that's left is housed in Texas, he's actually going to steer a bunch of money there, which in the long run, I don't mind. You know, if it's going to be graft and that kind of graft, fine. Let's have crooked money
Well,
flowing to science.
Here's
for
the
change.
weird thing. I spent
Never.
2 weeks in Houston, Texas, a couple of years ago at a club, and a lot of the audience was exactly the stereotype of what you thought would be
Right.
there. But there was a certain segment. I would talk to them during the show, and I would talk to them afterward. They were really smart, and here's what we forget as Americans. All of the spacecraft that landed on the moon and the rockets was assembled at the Houston Space Center and then moved to the launch facility in Florida. And there's
Right.
still people there, and I met these people that were working on the Orion
Holy cow.
aircraft who,
Yeah.
we just saw like a couple of weeks ago have the first test of, going into the atmosphere and coming back.
Right.
And the sad thing is, it sounds like a hacky joke, but these people are very smart. However, you talk to them, and they're like, this new aircraft has the ability. And I'm just like, look,
You're killing me, Smalls.
yeah, it doesn't matter how much college you have. What I just heard, and what everybody would just hear is, I fuck my sister. That's what people hear. Okay, it's great you're working on the future, but the future looks a lot like your past.
Now, I wonder if the Republicans being basically in charge of controlling NASA
Right.
will limit. NASA does a lot of research on global warming, and
Sure.
they're monitoring the temperatures all over the world
Right.
and all of that. It's totally possible that they will try to put in laws or regulations that say don't look at that.
Right.
Make NASA only look into outer space, or
Right.
So I wonder if that's
What
going to
is
happen.
the argument against global warming? I've never heard one except for that they just
Oh,
think
my
it's
God.
fake.
Are you kidding me?
No, I've heard them, but I've just never. I've just heard people say, "Oh, it's not real."
Well,
I've never heard an argument.
Well, the first one is the
Well-
biblical.
Now, on that note, Pope Francis came out and said climate change is mostly man-made, which I think he's trying to get God
Yeah.
off the hook for destroying
Yeah.
the planet a second time.
Yes.
He's,
No, I've never heard an argument an argument. I've just heard people say, "Oh, it's not real." Like, well, what does that mean?
That is their argument.
The crazy thing is this is not like some liberal mind speak. I mean, the majority of people who are against it, when you trace where their funding comes from, most of it comes from
Oil.
companies,
Yeah.
period. And then there's a few crazy people, as there always are. They're like, this is insane. But the thing that people have to understand is a vast majority of the world's scientists, like 95%
I think it's higher than
of
that.
the world, are like, there's no doubt this is happening. It's happening in our lifetime, and humans are to contribute with it. And I got to tell you, as being an American traveling overseas, there's like two questions everybody wants to ask you.
Oh, cool.
And it's
What are
like,
they?
One,
Yeah.
do you really not believe in global warming? And then the other question they really want you to ask, or they want to know, is like, why is it when Americans agree with you, they say, really?
Really?
Exactly. See? Exactly. There's no other way to
Call
answer
back.
that. And then they look at you like, I think you just answered my first question.
Yeah.
Well, I have relatives out of the country, not just Vietnam, and they said that